Okay, we're going to go ahead and reconvene, folks. Thanks for the 5-minute break. We are now on old business. There is no old business.
Thank God.
But we do have new business, so we will start with Councilman Brooks. Do you have anything?
No.
Nothing. Councilman Davis.
No, sir.
Councilwoman DiGirolamo.
Just a couple.
Okay.
We did have a planning board meeting last Thursday. Couple things came up. I believe we received an email on it, and somewhere in this pile of paper I have the packet. But a gentleman came before the board. It was an informal introduction. They do in fact have a interest in the property next to Mariana's. It would be for 67. It's actually, because I researched it today, because I never heard of the company, and this is kind of my wheelhouse. So I did do research. They have a state grant. So it's actually low-income housing. They would be rental units at affordable rent limits. So it would be 67 units. They're looking to build right along the train tracks, right next to Mariana's. They like the location next to the downtown. They have done several projects. They drive past 3 of them daily, so I did check them out. They appear to be very nice structurally. They're very modern. What they're looking for is they will bring in services. They'll bus people out to services, and it is age restricted, 55 and over, but it is an income requirement. So that came up with that presentation, as well as I asked Vic, I don't know if you've received anything from the planning board. We are waiting for, one item was approved in April. I'm not sure why we haven't seen it yet, but there was a resolution. It's regarding I-78 logistics. So there are 2 resolutions we have not seen yet. On the good note, this Friday I'm meeting with a QOZ investor downtown. So it's a perfect opportunity to bring him in here. It is Thomas the Tank weekend. He's going to see a very vibrant downtown. I did meet him at the NJ Biz conference on Opportunity Zone. So if anyone is open on Friday at 10 a.m., I welcome you to join me, only one of you, so we don't get in trouble. But so we're going to do a walk through the downtown, through the town in general. He is an investor. He has several people all looking to invest in his QOZ. He sets that up. And also next Wednesday, I reached out to HUD because we haven't heard any progress on that Envision Center. So I reached out to HUD, they called me back. So they will be sending a regional director in Wednesday. I'm picking her up at the train station. She is going to come into Phillipsburg. We're going to go tour I-78 Park, and she will be meeting with the Housing Authority and giving us, Ben Carson has a report and some next steps that he provided to the regional director. So I will be meeting with them, and the mayor was copied on that information as well, in case he chooses to join us. That's it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Council Vice President.
Just in short, in the police department, they do have their hands full, but there was some recent vandalism up at Walters Park. So the questions were there any cameras up there to capture it? I'm sure everyone on our council has been asked the same question at some point in time. I don't have answers to that. I did reach out to the mayor and the chief of police to ask about the cameras and where they're at. And it's not so much a Privacy Act thing because the cameras are out in the open. They really should actually by putting saying where the cameras are at, it actually deters. If you go through different community policing ideologies, it actually helps. So I did what the council president copied. I did extend it to the chief that if it's within their budget of 2019, please spend to get more cameras, and if they need more cameras this year, in some form or fashion, or 2020, to put together justifications such as crime mapping and UCI reports and things that actually plot where the crime to get the cameras up in the spot. So we are. I know they have a lot on the plate right now. Obviously, going on with the temporary move, but. Just so you know that the council is working with the police department and supporting them with justification that if they need whatever they need for cameras and the schematics that go along with that, we would be, I don't speak for all of council, but I think we'd be in full support of continuances, because we don't want to see things like that popping up, that type of graffiti or vandalism in other parts of the town going on. So we are in full support of that, and look forward to working with the Investigations Bureau, the chief, whatever. If they do want to lend my expertise on that, I would gladly help, not just a single vote on council. That'd be bad, sir.
Okay, thank you. I do have a few as well. In February of 2018, our council voted to forgive 2 liens and reimburse 3 residents on account of the sewer issue that was deemed by the majority of this governing body as being conducted outside of the process of the normal emergent procedure. It was recently brought to my attention by one of our residents that they have yet to be reimbursed. I did reach out to the mayor's office, spoke to the mayor and to Mr. Capello, and they had no knowledge of the resolution passed in 2018. However, they have stated they would support a resolution by this council this evening to provide full reimbursement to Miss Lisa DeMonte of 242 Irwin Street, Miss Kathleen McAtee of 240 Irwin Street, and Mr. Jeffrey Bishop of 234 Irwin Street, all in the amount of $3,112. They had paid the sewer lien. If you remember, council, last year we had deemed that we didn't have all of the information to deem it an emergency. We went ahead and we passed this ordinance. We forgave 2 liens, but 3 people who paid were not reimbursed. So I would ask that we pass a resolution this evening for all 3 individuals listed, stating, authorizing the reimbursement thereof.
Excuse me, Ms. Bobby. Lisa has passed away. Lisa DeMonte passed away.
You okay? Just okay.
242?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So we'll do the estate of, I thank you very much for that. So then I would ask that we do the estate of Mr. Monte, who's ever's in charge of her property. I'm very sorry to hear that. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Is there discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Davis?
Abstain.
Councilwoman DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Council Vice President McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Fulfer?
Yes. Okay, Council, thank you very much for that. I also wanted to bring up Councilman McVeigh and I, when we were out campaigning back in 2017 or so, she had a great idea. We were down Steve's Cafe about holding a emergency first responders type parade to say thank you to our police, our firemen, our emergency services. I thought it was an excellent town. It would make an excellent townwide event. So far, I've reached out to all the firehouses. I've spoken with the chief of police and the emergency squad. They're all for it, about doing it perhaps in the second weekend of August. They would start their parade down by Union Square and move up to Walters Park, where they then would hold some type of education for fire prevention, for the police services, and for EMS services for the children. I think it would make an excellent event. I also think it would be a great attraction for the children to see all the fire. They could do their lights and sirens, and it's just something to say thank you to them. It may help with their volunteering, with people wanting to sign up. But I also think it's a good way to bring the community together. No politics, no Republicans, no Democrats, no independents or affiliates, but all emergency services. So,
Tanks too?
do you remember those days? Listen, do you remember those days? When the tanks, yep. And the armory would have the trucks. Yeah, those were the days. So I really want to bring something like that back. Council, if you would support this venture, I don't know, we could reach out to the mayor's office and try and work something out with him. But is there anybody on this panel opposed to something like that? No? Okay. Next is I had a request for a three-way stop sign at the corner of Marshall and Wilson. So I would request a traffic study for engineer Schreck. You want to do that? I witnessed it myself. Actually, I lived there for a number of years. I went back to take some pictures of the sign for Mr. Reed, who unfortunately couldn't be there at the unveiling and was almost hit like 3 times by somebody doing 60 miles an hour. I don't know because I don't have radar attached to me, but they don't look. And I spoke. There's a lot more families that have moved in. The entire block is. I leave, my kids have nobody to play with. All these families move in. There's 600 kids. So I just want to make sure they're safe. So if we can request a traffic study for the corner of Marshall and Wilson, and it would be a three-way stop because the one side of Marshall is a one-way. Thank you. I've wasted my pen, but it's not happening. Thank you very much. And the block shutdown, Vicki, where did we stand with that for the block shutdown at Railroad Avenue?
I spoke with the fire chief and the police chief, and because of the one-way on Davis, we have to change the traffic route. They would need 4 officers, so they said that they should go to a park.
Go to the park.
Go to a park or someplace, because of the traffic flow, it's too hard to change the traffic flow, and if something was to happen, we would be liable because of the traffic flow change.
You know, we used to shut down First Street all the time for a block party, I guess, is it?
Certain streets you can, but because of, I think Davis, they would have, I don't know, but that's what they
Okay.
explained to me.
So we couldn't even vote on that tonight anyway because the chief of police has, okay. Okay, I have nothing further. Thank you. This is the public petition. This is the time where the public can speak. You're more than welcome to take the podium. I would ask that you state your name and address for the record. Ask your questions. Again, just try and maintain some civility, and I think everyone will have that issue. So,
Fred Pack, 459 Newton Avenue.
all right.
We need like a stop sign down here, like a 3-way stop sign. Because people are flying on Fisher, and there's a stop sign on Anderson. Where people are flying down, like I'm riding my bike, and people are flying from coming down and going toward. And it's like, they need to stop.
We looked into that once before, haven't we? Yeah.
So I think we should. That's a good idea. Have we done a traffic study there before?
I think we have.
Right down here on Fisher and Anderson. There's a stop sign on Anderson, but there's no stop sign on Fisher. Because
Does that go through housing?
it's not part of the street, it's town.
The streets are still the town.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think we're contracted.
Especially when the buses are coming down and people are flying.
Okay. We will.
And I have people over here, right, like the smoking area, and the people are just flying.
We will endeavor to get you that stop sign
Yeah, because
If-
it's a safety issue.
if they say it's okay.
Because people are getting hit, almost getting hit. Like me, I'm coming down from high school, I'm almost getting hit because people are flying.
Well, don't get hit on that brand new bike.
I'm almost,
Okay.
people just flying down.
Thank you very much. And hey, Ray, my daughter's going to see the Mets play on Friday.
They better win. Hey, the Phillies.
You aren't kidding. Is there anyone else? Mr. Boyce, your name and address for the record.
Dan Boyce, 244 Irwin. I want to bring up what Council Vice President McGay brought up about the graffiti. I'm really bothered by it, not because of what was done, but everyone's reactions to it. There's something very, very suspicious to what was done. Now, I'm told, I didn't look at it, I only looked at the picture, that it was spray paint. It looked awful neat to be spray paint. I don't know if that's what it was or if it was marker, but it was awful neat. And that's the point I'm bringing up. It looks like the person that did it had no fear. Like they weren't worried about being caught. And then take into consideration, this was done, what, Saturday?
I don't know. It was reported when did I reach out to the mayor? I think it was Sunday. Sunday?
No, I think you did.
Did I do it Saturday? I gotta be honest with you, check.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. I believe it was Sunday, because that's when Councilman McVeigh responded with regard to the cameras. So it was Sunday, it was reported to me.
Was it? Okay. For some reason, I thought it was Saturday, whatever it was. It was cleaned up within hours on a weekend when DPW isn't scheduled. Doesn't that seem kind of suspicious? There's been graffiti directed towards children found on the park, reported to the town. 6 days later, the same graffiti was still there. Nothing done about it. A resident went to clean it up themselves, and when they got there, DPW just cleaned it. 6 days, graffiti directed towards a child. Okay? Graffiti directed towards the mayor immediately. SWAT was called out, the National Guard, everybody was there, all right? No, this is...
But SWAT wasn't called out.
Oh, I thought they were.
No, they weren't.
It looked like somebody rappelling off the top of the bandstand.
Continue.
The point is, okay, all of you know, anybody that's ever run for office better have thick skin, because you have to hear a lot of stuff. If the mayor can't take it, then maybe he needs to step aside. When you're allowing graffiti against children to sit there, and then you're doing whatever has to be done to clean up something because it was directed towards the mayor, I mean, I understand. Some of these people are eating Legos thinking that they're Pez candy. I don't know where the thinking is with these people, but it's bullying.
Sure.
The town is allowing bullying for kids, but God forbid anything is said against the mayor.
So I don't have a direct comment for that other than what I had stated, right? The mayor's a human being just like all of us, and my comment is if you have a political opinion, write to the newspaper, don't put it on town property. I don't care who it is.
I'm not saying that they were wrong for cleaning it up. I'm saying that the time frame, when you allow it, graffiti against children to sit there, but the mayor is like, has to be cleaned up immediately, there's really something wrong with that. That's for any place, not just Phillipsburg. Could be Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania too.
I don't want to beat the mayor up if I don't have any proof that
And I'm
he
not
was
beating him
told.
up. I'm saying
Okay.
though, it seems like there's preferential treatment that shouldn't be. There shouldn't be, like Councilman Wood said, maybe, and I've said this numerous times, maybe instead of little signs and other pretty flowers and everything else, put some cameras up. Put some street lights up.
I can tell you that Councilman McVeigh had made an appointment with the chief of police, or had made arrangements with him this morning. The chief of police has asked for his expertise with regard to the placement of cameras, and that's being worked on currently. So I'm hopeful to see the graffiti. I don't like the fact that our veterans band shell has been numerous times, by the way. This just wasn't the only time that that's ever been done. Nor did I like the playground equipment. I'm familiar with that as well.
This seems very suspect though. This seems like very deliberate, very meticulous.
I'm sure it's
thought out.
deliberate. I'm sure
No,
it's
I mean that there was a plan behind everything. I'm sorry, but maybe I watched too many of those sleuth shows on TV. I don't know.
I will tell you that we do have a plan in place in order to thwart the vandalism at Phillipsburg Park.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Is there anyone else? Mr. Field, your name and address for the record.
Blank Philly, 37 Valley Avenue. Who does the cemetery have to go through about getting street lighting put in the cemetery?
The cemetery is a privately owned organization. Vicki, would that be? They would have to. They would actually have to pay. Right. Yeah, they would have to call the power company themselves to have those lines run. They're a privately owned organization. The town doesn't own that cemetery.
Because I know there's a light on a pole pointing in the cemetery at the Fillmore Street. Let's see if we can get one on Bohey Avenue, because there's a telephone pole there with a light on it. Well, we need one pointing into the cemetery to kind of deter the kids from going in there, knocking stones over, hanging out, and doing whatever they do.
My recommendation would be to have the president of the association, I believe is that Randy Piazza, have Mr. Piazza call the electric company and see if he can make arrangements. Since they are a nonprofit, I'm sure they would do some type of installation, or they would at least work something out. That would be my recommendation.
I'm sure that even if he calls Patty and Phillipsburg, she can give him a connection.
There you go. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is there anyone else? Okay, there seeing none, we will close and go to council open time. Councilman Lutz, do you have anything?
Yes, we're talking about cameras. We should see about cameras for the guest house, because they were broken into
What house?
the guest house.
Roseberry.
Oh, the Roseberry Homestead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were just broken into a couple days ago. I think we should, because that's a very dark corner there.
Right.
And I think we should look into that.
Okay.
There's a lady on Facebook, and Blaine picked it up, and I picked it up myself, that said that council turned down a $300,000 grant. And I don't even know what that's about.
It's not true.
I know it's not, that's why I called you and see if it was true, but I don't ever remember that.
Not during our tenure. I mean,
Yeah.
do you guys remember anything from 2000?
She said that the mayor said that we turned down a $300,000 grant for the town, and we don't know why. She doesn't know why we did it, so I just wanted to bring that out, because it's a total lie. Let's talk about bed bugs. I don't know if anybody ever read the bed bugs ordinance, but I think they should, because if a person has bed bugs, you have 4 days to write a letter to the landlord. The landlord has 4 days to write a letter to the town that they have bed bugs. Then they're supposed to bring a professional in. The landlord's supposed to bring a professional in. And he cannot rent that. If the people leave, he cannot rent that until there's a seal of approval that the bed bugs are gone. And I think the town's overlooking it with their steps of how to do bed bug situation. That girl last meeting in front of upstairs on the 3rd floor, a lot of people don't know that on the 3rd floor, right before, what's his name that owns the building?
Teddy.
Teddy, because
Teddy's. The 3rd floor, the water broke, the water line broke, and it came all through the walls, the ceiling, all the way down through the restaurant. And there was mold all the way through that. And nobody even took a look at it. Nobody took a look at it. But, I mean, bed bugs, that's important. I'd like to thank Stan Schreck for the good job he did is getting loans and grants for Heckman Street. And I think he did a great job by sealing that and doing a wonderful job. And we just passed an ordinance tonight for the finishing of Heckman Street.
Yep.
So, once again, I'd like to Stan Schreck for doing that. The other thing was, it's embarrassing when you have people on Facebook complaining about our Walters Park pool and the kids and how they're playing football, and people don't want to go to the park anymore, and it's better to go to Lopat. I think that's kind of an embarrassment to the town that there's people not overwatching that in the pool area. I mean, they say that there's kids running around knocking little kids down. It was just on Facebook. I saw 4 items on Facebook just tonight before I came about Waters Park Pool. And that's kind of embarrassing. Like I said, there we go again. Who's watching the store? And the only thing that I have is I'd like to say happy 4th to everybody. But thank you very much.
you're very welcome. Thank you. Councilman Davis?
I am good on open time tonight, Council President.
Are you sure you don't want to tell us, Councilman, how you came in?
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes.
You don't, I will.
I apologize. Congratulations to Attila Sabahalu, who's the business administrator at LaPacom and a good friend of mine. I invited him knowing that he's probably going to kick my can, but he also agreed to donate the $100 to Norwest Cap. And actually, I just need to get in touch with Mary Jo so he can get you a check. But I was proud to give him that money to live up to my end of the bet. Hopefully next year there's a few dozen people who beat me. so that we can have a super competitive 5K. So thank you to everyone who came out, and congratulations again to Attila for winning the race at the Old Town Festival.
Excellent, Councilman. Councilman, I want you to know if you would have came in first, Councilman McVeigh and I were going to put a medal on you this evening.
Maybe I knew that, that's why I got second.
Councilwoman, your
No,
floor.
I was going to congratulate Councilman Davis as well. It was a great turnout. That's the best turnout I've seen in a very, very long time for the 5K. I was disappointed when it went away. I'm thankful he brought that back. It was a great turnout. There was a great turnout downtown. It was very busy. It was nice to see everybody having a good time Friday night. Second, I actually want to congratulate Councilman McVeigh. For those of you that were there, he actually won the hot dog eating contest. He was robbed. Anybody that saw him knows he actually won and was robbed. He sat there going, I have less in my mouth than he does. So he totally rocked the hot dog eating contest at Old Town. Just want everybody to enjoy 4th of July. Remember, it is about celebrating our independence. And I want to thank the volunteers and people who stopped by stigma-free at Old Town as well. We did get about 4 dozen people to sign the commitment while we were at Old Town. We did shut down early because we just didn't have enough people to staff it, but it was a nice turnout. So it was nice to put some awareness out in the community. And after hearing TJ tonight, I actually am going to reach out to him to help with maybe that initiative a little bit. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Can I comment also on that? PHRR had 3 hours there. They had 330 riders, and it was very successful.
Excellent. Thank you.
PRRA, sorry.
Phillipsburg Railroad Storage.
You all done?
Yep.
Councilman Timmons, you're good?
I'm good.
All right. Council Vice President? You know, please.
Yeah. No, I'm good, sir.
Okay. Whoa. No, that's okay, you're good.
I had a pretty interesting evening this evening.
Yes, you did.
There from the invocation forward, so we're okay. Well, I am number 1.
You are number 1. So it was an honor tonight to the individual recipients for the proclamations this evening. That was an absolute honor to do. And again, I'd like to continue with that. So at the next council meeting, we're going to be honoring the Municipal Alliance for all of the good work that they do here within our community. And we're going to be honoring the LMR for all of the good work that they do within our community. I don't know if anyone knows this, but they help out all of our veterans. They donate services to our veterans. And they most recently took a load from the Phillipsburg Cemetery for free. So they are giving back to the community as promised, and I would like to recognize that. On Friday night, I would like to invite all of council to the Firth Youth Center to provide a proclamation to the Firth Town Falcons basketball teams who won their respective championships. Matt, can you tell me what time that starts? I believe it's 6.
About 7.
7. So if we could, we will have that proclamation ready, and if we could, Vicky's giving me the eye, but we will have that ready. If council would like to join me in celebrating the feats of those children, I would love to do that. I would also, I want to congratulate Mike Muckle and the Phillipsburg, New Jersey Youth Corps. They had their first graduation ceremony right here in this building. Mike is such an inspirational figure for a lot of people and what he does here in the town of Phillipsburg. It's just amazing. I think that, I want to look into doing more with them as well. Try and just keep promoting the positive and just keep really hammering at it. Eventually it will catch on, and because positivity is infectious, and hopefully all this talk about Facebook is killing me, because my account was hacked and I deactivated it, and now I'm hearing all kinds of things tonight. So, let me see, was there anything else that I wanted to bring up? What's that? Okay, so I also would like to also start holding meetings with the residents in the town of Phillipsburg, myself and another councilman or the other council members, just to, you know what, not everyone gets an opportunity to come here to council meetings. So I really would like to go out and hear what our residents do have to say, and especially for us, in this entire panel right now, we're not running for office. There's nothing that we have to gain or lose other than help our constituents. And I think it really sends in a positive message about how much everyone truly does care about their, and I don't want to say their complaints, but they have legitimate issues they would like some attention to. So if we could do that, that would be wonderful if you would join me. I was just disheartened this evening, but these things will happen, and it comes as no surprise that we're currently in a little bit of a dysfunctional government, right? And I use that term loosely, but I will say this, we're working on it. I will be with the mayor tomorrow in hopes of doing the walkthrough with the police department. No, we will do the walkthrough with the police department. And I'm really hoping to get some answers to my questions with regard to the grant. We're all human. It's just unfortunate the way the events unfolded this evening. That is all I have, other than one thing. We did have a letter for the PHA, for the Phillipsburg Housing Authority, that I did not get a chance to bring up during my open time. And I spoke with Mr. Romerfield prior to me coming in here, and we have an appointment that we need to make before July 31st. And the appointment that I have before me is for Ken Decker. Does anyone wish to see the letter?
I do.
This came to Vicki King. Okay.
Is his time, he's okay time-wise?
So there is a question with regarding the time frame. So in full transparency, Mr. Decker used to be an employee. It was brought to our attention that it may be a year's time with regard to whether or not he'd be able to serve. If that's the case, if you'd rather me table this appointment until the next meeting, I can certainly do that, because we did have 2 letters. We only had 2 submissions. One was for Mr. Hanasak, James Hanasak, and the other one was from Ken Decker. So I'm more than willing to table this till every councilman or councilwoman can do their due diligence.
Yeah, if we could see him
Yes.
with that.
And since it was on the agenda, I don't think we need to table it, we just process it. And then
So process it, okay.
Process it.
Is that okay with everyone on the panel?
I remember from last time, it's a one-time vote, correct? It's not, for the next meeting or like?
No, so the next meeting is a one-time vote. It's
I
just
think we went through this earlier. so
yeah, no, it's just a one-time vote.
Only just to make sure that vacancies. are
Right.
filled by the-
So Mr. Romerfield does say it has to be filled by August 1st, so we will go ahead and fill that. And I'm going to give this right back to Vicki, so she can give it right back to me at the next meeting. Thank you very, very much. And before we stop, the last thing I have to say is our very own Vicki Kleiner made it to the Municipal Clerk's Honor Roll. That's a nationwide list. So Vicki, out of Phillipsburg, has been recognized by the Municipal Clerk's Honor Roll. So, So she really is the backbone of all of us. She really does keep everything in line. Folks, I really do want to thank you for coming out. I'm sorry it was such a long meeting, but I really do believe, even with some of the dysfunction, we did make some headway. We have one motion for an approval of an application. It's for Jesse J. Smith. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Yeah, it was probably clipped, there's something worse. No.